This episode of the GameBreaker Show is brought to you by World of Warplanes. To try out World of Warplanes absolutely free, all you have to do is head on over to offergb.com/warplanes. What's up, everybody? Welcome to GameBreaker episode 2. New people in the chat are like, wait, GameBreaker's been around forever. How will you have only 2 episodes of this damn show? It's right, it's 2! Episode 2, January 9th, 2014. We're back. Happy New Year. Joining me this week, Mr. Pat Crane from Convert to Raid. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. It's been like 4 years since episode 1.
It
Something
has been
like
exactly
that.
4 years. It's actually, yeah. 4 years to the day. It was January 9th, 2010, last we've seen each other.
That's right. That's right. And I'm glad to see you there, Gary.
Good to see you. You haven't aged. You haven't aged a bit, sir. Your hair is still jazzy.
Thank you very much.
But I hope you're not wearing pants.
Why would I?
Nude Druid.
Yeah, that's right. That's me. Nude Druid.
If you tuned into episode 1 in 2010, you would have seen a man called Coltrane who cannot be with us this evening.
Right.
Filling his shoes is somebody a little less important.
Way to make him feel welcome to the show, Gary.
Well, if that isn't the best intro I've ever received. But in honor of Coltrane, I did bring a bad joke. I hope that's okay.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Look
he's going
out.
to try and fill the cult shoes.
In honor, well, it's not an honor. He's not dead, right? He'll be
Right.
back.
I don't know. It's
He
been
is.
4 years. He possibly could
It has
be
been.
dead.
It has
He
been a
could be
very
dead.
long time. Yes.
What did one snowman say to the other one?
Don't eat the yellow snow.
Smells like carrots.
Oh.
Oh, come on, man! That's great!
Vegetable humor. No.
When are you gonna find a good carrot joke, man? There's 2 cupcakes in the oven. One cupcake says, "Man, it's really hot in here." The other one goes, "Ah, talking cupcake!"
No.
Tough crowd.
No. Food jokes just don't play with this crowd.
I can see why Coltrane only did 1 show and then he was out.
Right, and then
He
he
was
4
fixed
years
for
ago,
this.
and then he was like, "I am not coming back after 4 years."
Ooh, it's gonna be a rip roaring show for you this evening. I tell you, see,
Oh,
we got
yeah.
a rip roaring show for you. We got jokes. We got
Yeah, see?
in the intermission. Mr. Mike Byrne is gonna do some impressions for you, and maybe bring out a puppet. He's a ventriloquist. He's a mentalist. He does card tricks.
That's not a puppet. That's not a puppet.
That's a much better introduction.
All right, let's get on to the top stories. So these aren't all from just this week, since we haven't done a show in 4 years. I figured I would put all of the possibly top stories the past 4 years together and talk about them.
Right.
So,
Right.
It's been a
First
busy
up.
4 years.
now this was the biggest story that's happened since we were all away from episode 1. It's still kind of going, but a group known as Derp Trolling targeted, well, almost the entire internet over the holiday break with DDoSing attacks against everybody. It started out where they picked one Twitch streamer, Phantom Lord. We have the post up here on GameBreaker, and we caught this while it was going live, actually, and it was pretty crazy. So the story goes is that he Phantom Lord, he's a mainly League of Legends player and a streamer, and he was streaming, and every game that he would play, Derp would come in and DDoS the game and take the game down. So they took down League of Legends, they took down Blizzard, they took down Club Penguin, they took down, I mean, and this
Not
started,
Club Penguin.
not Club Penguin, oh my god.
Damn it. I mean, the other ones, I let those subs expire, but Club Penguin.
Right. Right. I mean, that's the important one, right? That is like
It is.
the game of that's hot
I'm pretty
right
sure
now.
Club Penguin is actually huge, though. I may be wrong, but I
It
think
is.
It's
It's
gigantic.
right.
My boys eat that game up, man. It's costing me a fortune. That's why I had to cancel my WoW.
It's Club Penguin is the culprit. No, with this story, I mean, it was going crazy, and we were following it live and all that. And then when it really got crazy was in the middle of the live stream and Phantom Lord streaming, the police come to his door and he has to go away for a minute to go talk to the authorities.
Right.
And we all sat watching the stream, like just waiting, staring at this blank wall. And then the stream just cut and it went away. And we didn't hear anything for like, I don't know, a few hours. And then all of a sudden Phantom Lord tweets that he's okay, but he wasn't arrested, but he was detained by the police. Someone, not Derp Trolling, the group that was behind the DDoS attacks, but someone else had called in a hoax hostage situation to Phantom Lord's
This is
house.
eerily similar to episode 1, Gary, of Gamebreaker.
That's right, episode 1,
about
Swifty. Swifty got the cops called to him again. We come back to episode 2, and now Phantom Lord's getting like locked up.
What the F, people? Just, come on. What is going on? The cops have, oh, God. It's the same argument that we're going to have that we had last time around, right? So it's like we're wasting all these city resources, all these people's time. You know, the streamer, the viewers of the stream, they're all getting screwed out of something. And it's like, oh, God, please, can't we just find a way to just have fun? Is this fun? Is this fun?
I pine for the good days of streaming when you could strip your drunk wife without having to worry.
Yes.
This is what I'm talking about.
That you were going to have the cops called as a hostage situation.
The good old days. The good old days.
At least there's only like fear of divorce, right? I mean, that's no big deal. But I mean, a hostage threat. Now that's huge. Yeah.
So the story was he goes outside. I mean, he walks outside in his front yard, and there's a cop there, and he literally had guns drawn in his face and walking him back till they put cuffs at him. It's worth watching because he recounts the story, and you could tell that the kid is so shaken up and scared by what just happened to him.
Right.
And what was and this was even more. So hours go by. He finally sends out a Facebook message and tweets, and lets everybody know that he's okay. We're all like, oh my God, thank God Phantom Lord's okay, because I don't know what I would do. And oh my God.
Thank God he's okay, because I don't know what I was going to do with my Friday night. I had no idea.
I was waiting for him to come back on and stream because I got to watch the Phantom Lord. And then he comes back on at like really late at night, and he's been up for like 24 hours. And Dojo, I don't know if you guys know this part of the story because this wasn't really talked about too much. But if you were watching the live stream and he comes back to tell you the entire story, which was about an hour long, I think we have it up on GameBreaker. In the middle of recounting the story, the cops show up at his house again.
Yep.
Did they have pizzas? They also had 100 pizzas.
I think there was like 5 or 6 pizzas sent to the kid's house as well that night, and they were just out. And all of that, I do want to separate the two. Was Derp Trolling was not taking any responsibility for that. They said nothing to do with that. They were taking responsibility for DDoSing and attacking a bunch of websites and the games, but they had not done anything like that. So I meant no one really knows who's doing that. But oh man. And then then you got the internet freaking out saying like, oh, this is all fake, and he's got 140. He had 140,000 viewers.
Staring at a wall for one point for an hour. This is the most exciting wall on Twitch. Yeah, maybe it's in the wrong category. This isn't World of Warcraft.
Maybe it was a hoax. Maybe he saw the Swifty thing and he was like, I could do that.
Right.
Pat Crane, hang on. I think the cops are at the door. Hang on, I'll be right back.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
This is Hollywood. I could hire some actors for like, once a month to come in and just shut the show down. Just gets arrested again. What was it this week? It was methamphetamine.
If it happens next week, we'll know it's an actual thing.
Cooking meth in the GameBreaker studios and
during the show
on fire.
During the show. I was streaming meth cooking. What's the big deal, guys? Come on.
I was trying to teach the kids science.
Right. Haven't you seen Breaking Bad?
What do you think about DDoSing though? There's people on different sides of the fence here, and so the thing with the Derp Trolling thing kept going on for days and days. So they kind of kicked it into high gear. They got tons of publicity out of it. We were watching their Twitter account go from like 1,000 people or so when we first saw their Twitter account, maybe 2,000. I don't really remember this exact number. And within like a day or two, it was up to like 40, 50,000. I don't know what it's at now, but it was around 40,000, I think. So everybody started following this. Like Reddit blew up, and like their Twitter blew up, and they just started day after day after day, just like like EA, Blizzard, you know, DayZ, like every game you could think of, they were just shutting stuff down. And when Phantom Lord had asked them in a chat room, like, you know, hey, why are you guys doing this? Just out of curiosity, they basically just said for the lulz. I think that was the exact reason, was the LULZ.
That's not a good enough reason, I don't think. I mean, you know, for interrupting everybody's game. I mean, it's kind of, I don't know. I don't.
Why do you think it's happening? Because a lot of them say that they want to do this because they want the game companies, I guess, to maybe put better protection on their games to actually prevent this. So they're trying to sort of make a point to say, hey, fix this. But can they fix this? Like, can you fix it? Because I imagine it seems like a pretty simple thing that they would fix if they could, but I don't know if it's possible that they can for some reason. I don't know what the technical reason is because I'm not a network guy.
Yeah, and it's one of those things too where you kind of ride both sides of the fence, right? When a group, whether it's Derp or any of these anonymous, obviously the other big one we talk about sometimes, that when they start doing their thing but they're doing it for a purpose, you almost, oh man, I can be on your side there, but then what you're doing isn't technically legal, so I don't know which side to be on, and I'm kind of with Pat. It's for the lulz, okay. I mean, yeah.
For the lulz is not a reason. For security stuff, I mean, that's another thing.
You almost want to root for them at that point, right?
Exactly. Like, I mean, if they're breaking in and saying, hey, your security's really lousy, and here's the proof that it's so lousy, and they take people's account numbers and they blur it out, of course, or whatever. Yeah. And then they post it, and then they say, see, your security's, you know, a pile of crap. At least they're proving their point, and they actually have a point, and they're doing something for, you know, while it may be against the law, at least they're doing something that may help the consumer down the road. But
and exposing holes versus DDoS is really two different things, right?
Yeah.
When you're exposing security holes, you're targeting specific weaknesses and exploiting them. When you're DDoS attacking, yeah, a company can defend against that to a certain extent, but then what's the counter? I need more pings. All right, let's throw more pings at it. And it just becomes a game of numbers when you're talking about DDoSes. So we are talking about two different strategies here. My favorite thing, Gary, following all this, I didn't write any of these stories, so I got to just sit back and watch as these updates came across GameBreaker, was just the comments on like why we shouldn't be talking about this at all. Really?
Oh, yeah.
It's a game website, and games are being taken down.
Attacks,
we kind of have to report on that a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of what we do is report on it.
If we don't, then people are like, wow, they missed the biggest hacking DDoS story of the beginning of the year. They didn't cover it at all. Come on.
Right. Yeah, it's too big to ignore at that point. So I mean, you gotta report on it, and you gotta be able to put it on the site and all that kind of stuff. So
things have seemed to calm down in the past few days or so. Everybody's got a little bit quieter. I haven't heard too much more of any DDoS going on, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I kind of wish, you know, obviously they want to make a statement. I just wonder if there's some better ways to possibly make the statement.
Or
you know,
or how about this? How about actually make a statement? I mean, saying for the lulz is not a statement. That's not.
I'm watching chat room and
doing it willy-nilly.
Well, I'm watching chat room, and apparently, I'm going to look into this and see, but apparently there was possibly an interview with them with someone on YouTube or something, so where they talk about a little more. I have not seen that yet, so I would like to see it and get more insight. This goes back in the day, I had talked to some game hackers, like people who use like aimbots and things like that in Battlefield and games like that. And I had the same question. I was like, why do you do this? Like those systems cost more per month to actually use like aimbots and that kind of thing than it does to like play like an MMO. They're like $30 a month or something crazy. And some of them like said, because we're trying to prove to the game companies that they should make better protection in their games against cheaters. And it's like, okay,
no,
so
you use aimbot for the same reason I would use an aimbot. I'm shitty at the game and I want better gear. Come on, the hell out of here. I am playing PlanetSide 2 and using aimbots to prove to Sony. No, bullshit. Get out of here.
Well, they definitely made the top of the headlines. I mean, they'd hit everybody. I'm talking like Battle.net went down multiple times. I believe League of Legends, EA and Origin, PlanetSide 2, DayZ. I don't even have the list in front of me. You can almost almost every online game you could think of over the course of about a week or two over the holiday break got hit and slammed with attacks. So that was definitely the big one. Next up, this Forbes predicts the Elder Scrolls Online to be the biggest, and that's a quote, the biggest gaming disaster of 2014. Probably the biggest, most anticipated MMO probably coming out in 2014. They're saying it could be the biggest disaster. Is this? I mean, if you read the entire article, they do cite, a lot of reasons. Like, they say back in 2011 there was an MMO that swore it could compete with World of Warcraft and still charge a monthly subscription fee to its rabid fan base. It was called Star Wars: The Old Republic. So one of the big points that they make in the thing is that they don't believe that sub-based MMOs can work in 2014, and that's an archaic way and a thing of the past, and gamers don't want that.
There are a few games that are challenging that, though. I mean, there are a few games that are really going to be challenging the can a sub-based game work coming up here, and this is just one of them, right? I mean, we've got WildStar, we've got this one, and there's another one that's coming out that's
oh my god, I don't think I can talk to Pat anymore.
I don't know these
Final
things.
Fantasy
I'm a WoW
14,
player,
man.
damn it.
Final Fantasy 14.
There we go. So all of those things are coming out sub-based. Oh, he's out. So all these guys are coming out sub-based, and they're all challenging to see if they can actually do this. Now, for some of these guys, I really don't think it's going to work out to their benefit, and I think Forbes might actually be right on this. This Elder Scrolls Online could prove to be a big disaster.
But isn't this a really easy target to go after and say it's going to be the biggest disaster? I mean, it's like it's got the largest price tag that we know. Unofficially, we're hearing numbers of $200 million. I could see it. That's easily probably justifiable.
Yeah, but
probably. So it's like it's an easy target to look at and just be, oh, it's probably the most expensive. It's Elder Scrolls. It'll be the biggest disaster in 2014.
It's very easy to make it a target. I mean, when you look at Star Wars, I mean, the way that thing rolled out and everybody was like, oh yeah, this is going to be great, and then they went free to play. And it's like, oh, okay. All right, cool. I guess that's the thing then. You go sub-based for a while until you realize that it can't work, and then you go free to play.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I honestly don't feel like the subscription model is what would kill. I don't think that is a valid reason enough to kill the Elder Scrolls Online. I don't think that's gonna be the defining factor here. Totally.
I don't think it'll kill it either. I think the sub-base is kind of weird though. I mean, I don't think that this game or even WildStar for that matter, I don't know if it moves the needle far enough. Know what I mean? To push people away from WoW into something
Elder Scrolls
else.
Online not push the needle far enough. I mean, I know you can say the same thing about Star Wars, but man, like if you take Star Wars and then take that away and you say, well, what could push the needle more? I'm like,
I'm just saying I don't know. I mean, I don't know if this is going to push it far enough away from WoW to be able to let other people in. Because I mean, WoW is kind of the mega force, right? I mean, it is kind of the mega game. It's the one that all the MMO kids are playing, or something. Not really, but it is big enough so that I mean, you really have to consider it when you're talking about sub-based games, and I don't know if it moves it far enough.
I think the bigger question here is the second part of what there's a pretty long article, and it's pretty lengthy. You should go read it over on Forbes. But the other big point that they had made out is they sort of said, like, whoever asked for an Elder Scrolls MMO? Like, meaning saying, I don't really
anybody that played Elder Scrolls and an MMO at some point in their life has wondered, what would that game be like in an MMO?
Right, but then when you really break it down...
This is the article... The biggest problem I had is the headline. First off, it was very... grabby. The 2014. You didn't have one last year, 2013. You didn't have one in 2012. You didn't have one. Nice way to grab it, Forbes. But hey, can't fault them for that. I agree with the conclusion, but none of how they got there. And we've kind of alluded to that. It's the biggest target and has the most opportunity to fail and just puts it out there. I don't agree with the whole sub thing, which you brought up, and the second part is just ridiculous. this. Come on.
Well, I mean, here's the counter argument, though, right? I mean, look at you.
Damn it, Forbes, get it right.
Everybody watching the show, I'm sure, has played Skyrim. I don't know if both of you have, but I mean, it's essentially been a single player game. It's about you being the hero, you traveling through this world, you doing all these things. Does it lend itself to now become like this shared experience with like thousands of other people? I don't know if that's what people want. I don't know. So I think like in the MMO crowd, maybe people said, hey, you know, having an Elder Scrolls Online MMO, that'd be cool, but that's just sort of like pulling at the heartstrings because I like the lore and the IP, but does it make a good MMO? I don't know. It needs to be seen, but were people asking for it?
I think so. Yeah, I think there was probably a big overlap of the audience that was asking for it.
Is that the MMO audience asking that, or is that the actual Skyrim player who's just played Skyrim and plays?
I think it's more the MMO player that also dabbles in the Elder Scrolls games.
They don't care about you, Mike. They don't care. They do care, but really, they're going on consoles. They're definitely obviously targeting Skyrim single player console. Yeah. And PC players. I mean, it's got to be where they're really focusing this.
I mean, they've done their research enough to know that there's interest out there. It's just how much interest, and will they be able to make their mark, no matter how they do it? Will they be able to draw a big enough crowd to make sure that it's a game that will sustain itself? And that is kind of the question that Forbes puts out there. I think that this game is going to be fine. It's just what form is it going to end up in? Is it going to end up like Star Wars or like other MMOs that we've seen try to not necessarily take on, but they try to go with the WoW subscription model, if you want to call it that, whatever, and fail? Or are they going to be able to be successful at it? And that's one of the questions with this game. I think that it'll still be fine. It'll be sustainable and people will play it. It's just, what is that final number going to be, and where are they going to be happy at with the amount of players that they have?
Keeping an eye on you, Forbes. Keeping an eye on you.
I think Forbes totally overlooked the fact too, and we've talked about it on Twimo, that yes, they're going sub-based, but they've pretty much all but come out and said, when we don't think the sub is profitable, we're going to convert to free-to-play. By the way, we're going to build this shop and do this right off the bat, too. You know, they're putting all the free-to-play items in there right off the bat so that they're set for an easy free-to-play conversion when they know the time will eventually come. So to pin 90% of this game's going to fail because it has a sub is just ludicrous. It's a headline. And then 6 days later on Forbes, somebody else writes an article that says, oh, hey, last week this author said this was the MMO that was going to fail. So I think what's going to fail this year is Dragon Age Inquisition. And then goes on to just talk about how BioWare's whiffed on
I might agree with that one. I might agree with that.
And I think that one, but there were good points made in that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird how there's like a very dividing line about the Elder Scrolls Online MMO, where like some people want to see it crash and burn. I'm not really sure why. I mean, I think
I don't want to see it do well.
I know.
Right. I want to see all games do well. I definitely want to see.
I don't want to see all games do well. Screw that.
I want to see good games do well. How about that?
Right. If you don't play my games, you're playing crap games. That's all there is to it.
You're playing crap games.
Come on.
See?
It's the internet mentality.
That's right.
Next up, one that you're going to hold close to your heart, Mr. Pat Crane, a World of Warcraft player, dings level 80 without doing any quests. He did some of the starting. He did a little bit of the starting area stuff because you can't. He did all of the starting area stuff. I mean, he went through and he did the quests and stuff like that. Got up to level 12 or 13 or whatever you get up to by the end of the Pandaren starter island, and then he just stayed there. Yes, he just stayed there.
He just stayed there
and just worked on herbalism.
Herbalism. On his herbalism.
Because there's an H in that word, damn it.
So yeah, he was picking flowers on the little floating turtle island that is out there. So that must have been fun. Not
too much time on my hands. I got too much time.
I mean, when I think of the experience points that you get from picking a flower that you can get more experience at like level 10, at level 79, when you have, you know, millions of XP or whatever that you need to get, that is a very slow process. This process took a very long time. This guy's probably been working solidly for a year and a half while Mists of Pandaria has been out.
Is that really what you estimate this be? Like a year and a half? Is there,
no, it's a long time though. It is a long time. I don't know how long it is, but last time I heard an update from this guy, it was probably I want to say it was like 3 months ago.
Yeah, I remember the 60 update, and I think that was like 4 to 5 months ago, something around there.
So he's been working on this a while.
Do either of you guys ever set yourself up for like things like this in game though, and kind of like make your own?
Hell no. No, I actually like enjoying the games I'm playing. Like, well, this is one of those cool features where if you get a neutral panda to max level and it can't leave the island because you don't want to make that decision about whether you want to be Alliance or Horde, yes, that was cool. And people will read about it for a day. And then what do you do with it?
And then they will go about their lives and not really pay attention to you anymore.
Right. So why do you do this then? Is it just to get a headline for like 5 minutes, you know, a couple minutes of fame and make a couple websites? Like, I mean, we posted it. It's a pretty amazing feat. Maybe. It must have taken. We know how long it took him, and we're like, wow, I can't believe somebody actually did this.
Right. Right. Well, and we saw this. I think last year before Mists of Pandaria. Last year before Mists of Pandaria came out, we had the Iron Man challenge, and Kriparian actually was the first guy to go all the way up to max level with wearing only gray items and like not learning any spells or anything like that. So he did this whole deal where he kind of went about this really hardcore mentality of, hey, you have to level up your character this way, you cannot die, you cannot, you know, do all this other stuff. So people come up with weird stuff.
And when you set it up against an Iron Man challenge against other people to do something like that, I can sort of see the competitive nature of it. And when you're completely alone in solo and you're just collecting herbs, probably smoking a lot of herb while he's doing this.
Right.
Just making that up. I don't know. I just made that up. But
weed was involved.
Allegedly, but not allegedly. Not allegedly. We totally made that up.
Weed or weeds were involved.
A lot of time spent, but definitely made the headlines.
I have an MMO friend for years now that if his character dies, doesn't matter what game, if his character dies, he re-rolls. That character is gone as soon as it dies. And it got to the point where it's like, yeah, we'll talk and mumble or vent or whatever, but I am never playing with you ever again because this is ridiculous. And for no other reason than that's just the way
Tell him to join us in DayZ. It's part of the game, but die like 3 times a night.
Right.
Perfect game.
Well, I'm not raiding with that dude. I know that much.
Seriously, middle-aged.
Somebody in chat, you have to do something to make a 9-year-old game fun again. If to make a 9-year-old game fun again is to blind yourself pulling weeds out of a fictional ground, you probably should just stop. If that's the definition of fun now.
Right.
Probably.
Play Hearthstone. Something.
All right, I want to talk about this Battlefield 4 producer debacle craziness. But first, I want to tell you guys about a great deal we got going on with World of Warplanes. If you guys have not checked out, it is a completely free-to-play game by wargaming.net. You can head over to offergb.com/warplanes and sign up today. It is completely free to play. What I love most about the wargaming games is their stance on pay to win. Nothing is pay to win. Every single unlock, everything that you can unlock in the store, because there's a store, if you want to pay for some certain items, you can, but everything is unlockable through just playing the game. So you don't have to spend a dime while playing World of Warplanes. It's a great game. I played a ton of it over the holiday. I could not get enough of it. I just kept playing it. I love the matches. You know what I love? I love the lobby system they've put together. They put together this lobby where it's so you have like one life with your planes. So if you die and you get shot out of the sky, you are done for the match. And then you have 2 choices. You can either sit and spectate the rest of the match, or you can just go right back to your hangar, grab another plane, load up into another match, and just you're out dogfighting again. I love it. No downtime. Having tons of fun. Check it out. Go on over. Use the URL offergb.com/warplanes. Check it out. Absolutely free to play. Awesome dogfighting. I guess what you call it an MMO. I want to call these games MMOs. I don't mind when Bern and I fight about this a little bit about MMOs, but there's a lot of people playing. There's thousands of people playing.
We fight
Millions of
about a
people
lot,
playing.
Gary, and I want to talk to you about my introduction after the show.
Sure. We'll work on that. I'll do better next week. Check it out. Offergb.com/warplanes. All right, so next up, Battlefield 4's producer. The producer for Battlefield.
This is
This was a rough one. So, Battlefield's 4 producer, he sends out a tweet over the holiday break. This was on this is January 2nd from Stockholm, Sweden. He says, haven't had time to play BF since November. What's it like?
Yeah.
Well, it's been a little rough. For you BF4
Funny you
players
should
out
ask.
there,
We're getting sued.
Ask your lawyers.
Yes. How's your
That would have
attorney
been the
going?
best tweet from EA. You need to contact legal.
Oh,
It's running through some hardships, man. Like, I'm a BF4 player. I'm playing a lot of Battlefield 4, and of course it's playable. I play a lot of it. But it's running into a lot of trouble. It's got all kinds of connectivity issues. It's got a lot of bugs they've been trying to work out.
Yep.
It has not been a smooth launch at all, and players are pretty pissed off. They're not very happy with the launch of Battlefield 4. If you've been a Battlefield fan for a long time, like I have, it's kind of normal. They kind of do this all the time. It never really launches that great, but he tweets, how's it going? What's it like? He doesn't know. He doesn't know what's going.
And then scroll down after everybody just went nuts on Twitter about this. Scroll down to what else he says.
Well,
he says,
so you mean? Well, let me start here with some of the tweets he got back. So
sure.
And again,
Gary was like, "Don't you dare, Crane, deprive me of the opportunity to read these excellent tweets."
These trolls right here.
if Coltrane was
Wonderful
here, like
trolls.
I'd planned, he'd be reading them, not me. But first one here is that's just a cop out. You're being disrespectful to your. That was actually a post one, actually on like his response. Saying the game is horrible. It's a broken mess. search EA Dice or Battlefield on Twitter and read all the tweets. The community is not happy, and it is. It is that easy to find people who are uncomfortable. Not happy right now. The next one says here, let's release a broken game and then go on vacation. That's a little bit. He's angry. He's gone on guy went on vacation.
Everybody
says,
deserves
this game is
a
totally
vacation.
broken and your BF communities are idiotic to post this nonsense. Nobody says the guy can't go on vacation, right? It's the holiday season. He's been working really hard. He's going on vacation. He says his phone is, he comes off, he comes back, and people first, I mean, it was kind of so absurd to fans that there was other tweets saying like, is this a troll? Like, are you being serious?
Kidding?
Like they thought they were being trolled by him because they were just like, there's no way the producer
Because that would be even better, right?
Yeah.
If somebody from EA was like, "Hey, how do you like that shitty game?" That would have been so much better.
It's like all he has to do is just pick up the trades every once in a while and just pick up anything, and it has Battlefield on there as being like this big pain in the ass, right? So I mean, he could have just done that.
That is the truth. I mean, there's like on a daily basis, all the major news outlets out there post something about BF4 still having problems, almost on a daily basis. Right. Then he comes back and here his response was, he says, genuinely sorry, guys and girls. I was not trolling when asking about the game. Still on vacay, email turned off, and curious about the game.
I like how he says vacay, because I mean it sounds just so flippant, right? I mean it just sounds like, oh, still on vacay, guys. I have no idea what's going on. I had my email turned off. Oh boy, I've been on vacay for a month. I have my email turned off. What the hell? What the hell? Talk to your lawyers.
I don't know. I feel two ways about this because, like, part of me wants to go, like, man, guy was probably working for years without maybe a break. It was probably a super stressful job. They launched. He probably said, you know what? I need to go on vacation. I need to just, decompress for a month and take my family and just go away and just do nothing. And I'm going to shut down from everything, which is totally possible. But I am sorry when the game is in this state and there are lawsuits going on about the situation with their shareholders. He doesn't know.
Even if he doesn't pick up the guides or go to a website or Google how your game is doing just because you're curious, how was he not contacted at some point going, we're being sued?
He's on vacay. Emails off.
No.
Emails off. No text. No email.
I write something that ends up getting GameBreaker sued. It doesn't matter where I'm on vacation. Your ass is calling me.
Right. Well, and I like how he doesn't try to go to the email first. No, he goes to Twitter first. Let's go to Twitter first so that I can reconnect with the community a little bit. I won't go to my email right away to see all the bad reviews or anything like that, or the lawsuits or anything like that piling up in my inbox. No, I'm going to try to reconnect first by going to the place where I know that people love me. I'm going to go to Twitter.
Like but the more we talk about it, like I almost really got to think like he really just disconnected that much.
Clue.
He really had no clue.
Right.
Like there was no joking there. He literally got blindsided, which in some sense I kind of feel bad for him a little bit because he really got blindsided.
Right.
But wow, it's that what a bad message to send to the players right now that the guy like behind the game has no idea the state it's in and what it's going through.
Yeah, they were like
I was totes on vacay. My bad.
Yeah, there were like 2 or 3 different bad decisions that he made, kind of right in a row. Not the vacation part or anything like leading up to that. It's just, oh man, you got to come back with the right message, and you got to know what's going on.
I hope he had a kick-ass vacation. Like, I hope it wasn't one of those ones where it rained the whole time or anything.
No, you got some work to do, brother.
Polar vortex.
Polar vortex, right back into it. All right, next most popular story since we've been away. This mod for Skyrim called Skywind, the most ambitious Skyrim mod that everyone wants to play. This mod looks incredible. This team is looking to take the entire world of Morrowind and Oblivion and put it into the Skyrim engine. Everything. The environments, the NPCs, the quests, they are looking to do it all. This thing blew up. People want this. I mean, you look at this video of who knows how far they're into this thing, but talk about a business card and a resume.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
it really looks gorgeous. I mean, it looks
so that League of Angels really ad.
Cool. It looks great though, and it's cool. It's cool to know that people care enough to put this much effort into this game. I mean, it looks like they just did everything to port this game in, and it's amazing. It really is cool.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I mean, how they're looking to do this. They're trying to grow the team. I should mention that. So if any of you out there have skills and want to be on the team, I know they're always looking for new team members to help out with this thing. But Burn,
and
you're
they have the
huge
best URL for this type of project. Moreoblivion.com.
Moreoblivion.com.
Great URL. Great URL.
This could be huge. I mean, the modding community of Skyrim is just gigantic. I mean, people are still playing the shit out of Skyrim just because of the mods. Could you imagine? Do you think they'll really pull this off? Do you think this is going to see the light of day? Or do you think this is just going to get scooped up or something by somebody else or Bethesda or something to kind of bring this in-house? I mean, do you think they'll really pull this to completion?
I think this one sees the light of day, and I'm nuts about the Elder Scrolls and especially mods with Skyrim and stuff. The one thing that I do feel kind of bad for is that every time somebody builds these awesome Skyrim mods as like a business card, they never end up at ZeniMax. Somebody else always picks these people up. They always end up with other companies that have nothing to do with Bethesda and ZeniMax. But I am looking forward to getting my hands on this. I think this one does see the light of day. I think they're pretty far in the development to just let this be snagged at this point.
Yes, I would hope so. I mean, this looks like one of those must-see type of things, and so I really do hope that it sees the light of day as well.
Yeah, talk about an ambitious project. Wow, I mean, it's just I really hope these guys and gals can pull this one off because this one's just crazy. So yes, Moreoblivion is the website. If anybody out there has skills and wants to look, there's probably some information here, I'm sure, on the website. Yeah, wanting to help, you go right here. There's a whole guide on various Skyrim tasks. So they're always growing the team. So if you're you want to start making games, this might be a good way for a lot of people. A lot of people ask, like, how do I get into making games? We do the show on Game Biz and stuff like that. Hey, here's a pretty good way. If you got some skills, go check out that because that looks like an awesome project, which I'm sure is going to do really well.
The last big Skyrim mod now works at Bungie, so
there you go.
That was that quick.
Last up this week, the big story since we've been away, Razer unveils this Project Christine modular gaming PC at CES. Have you guys seen this thing? That is a PC.
Yeah, it looks really sweet, and I think that, I mean, the problem is that this is probably going to be fairly expensive, right? Because we're basically taking the building a PC out of, we're not building a PC the normal way. We're just sticking stuff in and just making it work.
So
That
what you're
sounds
looking
hot.
at, just to explain this, what you're looking at is they've compartmentalized all of the different components of your PC. Your CPU separated from your video cards, separated from your hard drives, things like that, and they put them into I guess they sort of like these pods or these enclosures that all have liquid cooling and also noise cancellation, so it's really super quiet. And then each of these things can be slid in and out of the case like this to upgrade and things like that. And it's got some really nice touchscreen display there on the front to give you some readouts on everything. It does look like it's going to be quite pricey. I mean, these just look like concepts right now. I don't know if we'll see something like this, but is this really? I mean, besides the case looking really cool though, from a functionality standpoint, I mean, does it really? I mean, do gamers really need something like this? I mean, are you upgrading your PC that often that you need something this modular?
I think people are constantly switching parts around. I mean, if something's a little outdated, they probably will upgrade it. I mean, again, it comes down to what is the price? What is going to be the price point for all these different modules and for putting it all together? I mean, what is a system going to cost? This thing actually won best PC of some show, and I'm not sure if it was CES or not, but it just recently, Razer just came out with a thing that said that they won best PC in some show, and it might have been CES. I'm not sure. So I mean, the design is pretty slick, but again, I think it just kind of comes down to price point.
What would you pay for something like this, Mr. Byrne? Would you get into something like this? Is this something that you would actually?
What would I pay, or what is Razer going to charge? At first glance, you're like, that's badass. That thing is cool.
Right.
And that would be really awesome to swap things in and out that fast. But then when you do sit down and think about it, to me, the market for this is incredibly tiny. I don't think it's gaming computer people. Maybe I'm an anomaly because Pat sounds like updates a little more often than I do. I probably update core components in my tower maybe every 2 to 3 years. Now, granted, I kind of buy at the very high end at that point and let it ride for 3 years. I'm not mid-tiering anything. But when you start seeing the green logo on the side of this, it kind of takes the cool factor away because you could probably do something more powerful at a third of what I would imagine the retail price of this thing to be. And current computers aren't that hard to take apart and put together anymore. You don't need the knowledge that you did 8 years ago. And the lack of more modular computers, which have existed already, the lack of them actually selling at a decent clip kind of shows that transition where it's not too hard to make them anymore.
Do you think maybe they're going for the more like the Mac crowd that is switching over to PC right now, so that they're saying, oh well, if you're used to Macs, where it's just kind of all comes for you and you don't have, there's really not a lot of customization for your PC. Do you want to switch over to Razer and you can just plug in all this different stuff and it's really nice and easy and you can just go for it? So then we're talking like a price point of maybe a finished system would be $2 to $3 grand, which is a hell of a lot, and you might not get as much for that money.
Well,
it's hard to say.
That's definitely possible, but it's that tiny market that I mentioned. It's not a very big group of people. But damn, I'd love to have one. But I love Razer equipment. I'm a Razer baby, Razer fanboy to a certain extent, but not enough to actually buy this at what I would imagine Razer's price point is.
What do you imagine their price point would be on something like this? What would you throw? What would you guess?
If I had to throw numbers at some of the specs that I've seen on some of the pieces available for the prototyping, I would probably see Razer putting this around the 3 to 5K mark, depending on some of the modules that you decide.
Yeah,
now
for a full gaming system, yeah.
Here's a question, and maybe one of you guys. So, does it work actually with all standard components? Like, or do you have to actually then use special components that are only going to be made for this configuration for modular PC?
Well, it looks like. I mean, the big thing is that the central tower is the key point, right? So all the connectors are going to be hooked into there, and so you won't be able to. It looks like it's going to be very specific, so that any modules that you plug in are only going to work for that system, and you won't be able to change. You'll be able to change some stuff around, but not a lot. I don't know.
I mean,
Chat
from what
is indicating that there are special components. It's not like you're going to buy an ATI graphics card, open up the module, swap the graphics card, close it, and put it in.
Because of the tower. Because of the tower.
And that's what scares me more than anything about the whole modular PC thing. It's like, I want to just go down to Fry's, buy my new video card, come home, and slap it in this machine. If I can do that, I may be on board if it's at a good price point. I mean, it's a really cool looking design. I mean, even PCs up to this point, you know, I think look like crap. I mean, most cases look pretty crappy, which really is all this is, you know, for the most part, just a cool looking case. I mean, I don't know how much use I'd get out of the modular design. I don't know. I'm kind of with you, Bern. I think, you know, every 3 years do a full upgrade, and then maybe every year in between that is a video card upgrade. It's about it. Maybe upgrade the GPU, the big important thing to play games. But beyond that, the other stuff can kind of last. I agree. I see this is a tiny market. I don't think we'll ever see this the light of day. It's caught a lot of, you know, it's gorgeous, made the headlines. I don't think we'll ever see this thing hit the
I could see this seeing the light of day. I mean, we've seen modular computers before. There's no reason Razer can't do this. I would just see it more as it's not going to be readily available. It's going to be a custom order type deal. Sure. You know, and just build as their bot is what I would imagine would be the safe route to go with it.
They're going to use all that Naboo money, and they're going to, you know, the new smart bracelet thing that they have, and they're going to use that to fund their Project Christine. So,
Gary, they said they were sending us free ones of these, right?
Right.
That was in the email you sent me.
I think 18 Project Christines were coming our way. Yes.
Right.
Awesome. No, actually, really quick, the wristband that Razer kind of brought out as well. I don't have it in front of me, but so they also came out with like I wear a Fitbit a lot of the times for in this. It's kind of similar. It's like a band with a little like OLED screen on it, and you know it attaches to your iOS device, your Android device, and kind of why do you think Razer's getting into this market? Why are they getting into the lifestyle and tracking? I call it gamifying your life. I mean, I can only imagine that Razer's going to look to kind of make it all connected somehow, but it seems
they've always been into accessories, though. I mean, they've always been into peripherals and accessories, and this is just kind of one more extension of that, right? And again, I don't know exactly how big the market is for the Naboo. But it looks cool. It looks pretty flexible, and it looks like, I mean, you'll be able to read your texts, and you'll be able to see who's calling you, and like alerts from your phone and whatever. So that's kind of cool. But again, if you have your phone with you, why wouldn't you just use your phone? But whatever. Apparently, some people don't want to take out their phone ever.
Yeah,
the other thing, though, is keep in mind, though, that a lot of, especially in the United States, there is a huge market for something like this because our medical insurance companies are now putting some different qualifiers to get additional benefits or additional money. Like my own health insurance with my employer changed less than 12 months ago, where to contribute to my health account, they have to see, like, do you go to a gym? Do you smoke? Do you do this? Like, you actually have to give them this type of information voluntarily to get extra benefits. So there's a huge market for these types of things. Insurance companies would love to get their hands on the results getting pumped out of these. One other thing we didn't mention, and chat called us out on it a little bit with the Project Christine and with this, is that Razer's also considering a subscription model, which means Forbes will classify it as the biggest opportunity for failure
of
2014.
Are you listening, Forbes? You have a new article to write.
That's the other option with the Project Christine is a sub.
Wow.
Sub fees are dead. Pat Crane, follow him on Twitter at Pat Crane. Go over to converttoraid.com. Check out Convert to Raid right here on the GameBreaker Show, as well as the Legendary right here on GameBreaker TV as well. Mr. Mike Byrne, follow him on Twitter at MagicMan1, MAGICKMANN1. On the Twitter. You can also catch him on This Week in MMO every Friday right here at 3 Pacific.
Is that a question, Gary?
It's been a while, man. We've been on vacay. I've been on vacay,
Right?
bro.
How's it playing?
I don't know. I don't know about these shows. How's GameBreaker doing? I have no idea. Shit's falling down from the ceiling. I've been on vacay, bro. I don't know what you're talking about. Follow me on Twitter, Gary Gannon. Follow GameBreaker TV, GameBreaker TV. Come over to our Facebook page, facebook.com/GameBreaker TV. Click the like button. And welcome to all the new people that have come over during the holiday break. Welcome. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week for GameBreaker. Have a great week.